Dear plus 3 first year science students, I want to tell you that three prose pieces have already gone. So you are to be sure that I have covered three prose pieces. The first topic is what are the leisure of life. What are the leisure of life by C.V. Raman. And the second approach is a call to youth. A call to youth by Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. And the third topic, the third prose piece is the way to equal distribution by Mahatma Gandhi. I have covered three prose pieces. Only I have to cover one topic. I have to cover only one topic, and the last topic will be left. And the story pieces, the stories have to be taught to you. And I have taught you only one story, The Bicycle, written by Das Benhur. And I am continuing the story. The name of the story is The Man Who Knew Too Much. The Man Who Knew Too Much. This is the second story. And I will finish the story within a limited time. In a limited time, I will finish the topic. And it will face no problem what I think. That before the first semester comes, there will face no problem. And I will cover the course without any hindrance, without any doubt. I will cover the course. So you come to the story, The Man Who Knew Too Much. The Man Who Knew Too Much is a story which has a comic event. It has a comic event, and the story is written in a lighter way, in a lighter way. The story is written. A little learning is a dangerous thing, I have told you. A little learning is always a dangerous thing. Too much learning is not at all dangerous. Rather, little learning. A man who knows very little. A man who knows very little, a little. And he shows that he knows more than what others do not. So that is why a little learning is always a dangerous thing. And in a comic event, in a lighter event, the story has been written. And the story is written by Alexander Barron. Alexander Barron is known for his Sherlock Holmes, the series of a drama. He is known for his Sherlock Holmes. And dear students, I want to state many kinds of people are dwelling on this earth. Many kinds of people are staying on this planet. They have their different mentalities. They have their different etiquettes. They have their different behavior, mannerism. And some of the people are there, some of the men and women are there who are supposed to be gallants. They are supposed to be gallants, G-L-L-A-N-T-S, gallants. They show that they have known much of the things. They always say that know better than what others do know. And that is why sometimes they are ridiculed like anything. They are satirized like anything. They become the butt of laughter. They become the butt, B-U-T-T. They become the butts of laughter. They are ridiculed like anything. And this is the story which has already been written on a particular person. That a person shows his adequate knowledge, sufficient knowledge that he has. But really, he knows nothing. So many things have to be learned from the society, from the environment, from different sources. And I have to learn from you, and you have to learn from me. So that is why it is an interaction class. So inside the classroom, you will give your suggestion. I will also give my advice, and the interaction class will go on. You will put question. I will also give the answer, and I will also put question. You will give the answer, and this is the interaction class going on. So many things are to be learned from the society, from the environment. Many things are to be learned. And dear students, and there is a maxim, there is a proverb, there is a maxim that a little learning is always a dangerous thing. Because people having a little amount of knowledge, the people having a little amount of knowledge, a man having a little amount of knowledge can behave in a different way. And a man with much knowledge will show his etiquette, will show his behavior in a different way. And this is why little learning is always dangerous. Little learning is always dangerous. And dear students, you do know that in English, you will meet different categories of man. Especially English speaking people are many in a number. But they say English, they speak English in a different English. They speak English. And some of them stick to the Bazaar English. Some of them stick to the Babu English. Some of them stick to the Pidgin. But really, Umar, and the English speaking people really in India are not so many, are not so many. Those who have already been qualified, they are in foreign countries, they know the accent, they know how to give stress to the syllable, which syllable is to be stressed upon. All these things have to be learned. But especially in Odisha, but I think that we speak English in different ways, and our English is not correct English. And we sometimes use Pidgin, Babu English, Bazaar English, and that is also treated like anything. And dear students, I want to say on a particular personality, on a particular man, named Private Quelch. Private Quelch is the hero of the story, the protagonist of the story, is the main character of the story. And he knows nothing. He knows nothing, but he says that he knows many things. This is the difference. And the people ridicule him. All the soldiers ridicule him. And his juniors also ridicule him. His colleagues ridicule him, satirize him. But still, he never keeps mum. He never keeps mum. He never keeps himself mute. Rather, he goes on telling many of the things, as if he knows more than what others do not. And that is why he is sometimes ridiculed and satirized and become the butt of laughter. He becomes the butt of laughter, B-U-T-T, the object of laughter. So that is the thing now. So you come to the topic. I will tell you, I first met Private Quelch at the training depot. A man is liable to acquire in his first week of army life, together with his uniform, rifle and equipment, a nickname. Anyone who saw Private Quelch, lanky, stooping, frowning through horn-rimmed spectacles, understood why he was known as the professor. Those who had any doubts on the subject lost them after 5 minutes conversation with him. So that is why Private Quelch is not at all a man of knowledge. He is not a knowledgeable fellow. He is not at all a man of wisdom. He is not a knowledgeable fellow, but still he argues that his argument shows that he wears something unique. He wears something unique so far as knowledge and wisdom are concerned. So that is why most of the times he falls victim of undue laughter, falls victim of undue criticism, unwanted criticism, and all things are there. So far as the character like Private Quelch is there. What is private? First of all, you have to know what is the meaning of private. So here the meaning of private is an ordinary soldier. The meaning of private is ordinary soldier, and the name of that man is Quelch, Quelch, Quelch. An ordinary soldier, Quelch, Quelch. Quelch is an ordinary soldier. I first met Private Quelch at the training depot. What is the training depot? Training depot is a place where new recruits are trained, where new employees are trained, where new recruits are trained. That is a depot, DEPOT, training depot, training center. Probation period. So this is about the probation period the writer wants to tell. In that probation period, Mr. Wells is there and he shows his knowledge. He tells his knowledge in a different way, and that is why he is ridiculed. The man is ridiculed. I first met Private Wells at the training depot. At first, the writer met him. The writer Alexander Barrow met Private Wells there in the training center, training depot. A man is liable to acquire in his first week of army life, together with his uniform, rifle, and equipment, a nickname. So this is the man who has already acquired all these things as a soldier, as an army man, as a defense personnel, as a defense person, as a defense person. He has acquired. What has he acquired? The uniform, rifle, equipment, all these things. The uniform, the rifle, the equipment, a nickname. And that is why his nickname he has owned, or he has got a nickname. That nickname is Professor. When he says garrulously, when he says he speaks garrulously, without any stop, he says it continuously, not continually. He says it continuously, but not continually. Non-stop. Non-stop speaking breeds contempt. The man who knows nothing will say many of the things. You mark what will be his condition. The man who says many things knows nothing. Please tell me. Please tell me who is that fellow. Please give your comment on that fellow, what he is. So Private Quelch has acquired a nickname. He has already got a nickname. The nickname is Mr. Professor. Professor. What does the work of the professor do? A professor always delivers his speech, delivers his talk, delivers his talk. A professor professes. It is not okay. If I say that a professor professes, it is not all right. But a professor always delivers his speech, delivers his talk inside the classroom. Now, most of the time, when the turn comes, the professor comes to the class and delivers his eloquent speech. And likewise, Mr. Quelch has the quality of that professor. And he says, goes on saying, non-stop. He goes on saying, without caring for others, without paying any heed to others, or without giving any lift to others, he goes on saying, he goes on delivering his speech. And really, this is very much harassing. Because almost all are elite masses. When almost all are educated. And in this state, or in this condition, a man should not say that he knows more than what others do not. But really, you mark a man having knowledge, a knowledgeable fellow can never boast. A knowledgeable fellow can never take pride. A knowledgeable fellow can never take pride. But a man having a little knowledge, a man having a little learning, a little knowledge says more and more, does more and more. But really, this is completely harassing, nothing but harassing. So anyway, anyone who saw Private Quelch lanky, thin. Private Quelch was lanky, stooping, frowning through horn-rimmed spectacles, understood why he was known as the professor. He was a lanky, Wari, W-I-R-Y, WIRY. He was lanky, worry, and he was also stooping, bending down, stooping. He was stooping, frowning through horn-rimmed spectacles, as if full of anger. He is an angry man. He is an angry man. He is a lanky one. He is a lanky one, stooping man. And that man is a private consumer. He is not entitled, he is not at all worthy of being there in the military department. They are in the defense department. He is not worthy of being selected for the military department, but he has been selected. And he is undergoing the professional work. He is undergoing the training. They are in the training depot. And there, he shows his behavior. He shows his learning just before others. And if he knows more than what others do not, he mark. And that is why that has already made him ridiculed. That has already made him a butt, butt. That has already made him a butt of laughter and ridicule. Laughter and ridicule. So he is nicknamed as a professor, the professor. He is nicknamed as the professor. He has uniform, he has rifle, he has equipment, as a defense person. He has all these things. Other than these things, or he has gained a name, that name is the professor. That is the nickname. That is the nickname, that is the professor. Those who had any doubts on the subject lost them after 5 minutes conversation with him. So, when one wants to clear his doubt, he is to meet Professor Welch. And Professor Welch will give him many things. Coming to his doubt, he will cite many of the things. And he will be exasperated. You will be exasperated. You will be dumbfounded. You will be dumbfounded. You will be astounded. You will be dazed at simply having heard much out of the tinny brain. Having heard much out of the tinny brain, you will be simply astounded. What a man he is. What a man he is. What a creation he is. And that is why the writer has never forgotten to narrate something on this heroic man, the protagonistic man, Mr. Quelch, Private Quelch. I have told you what is private. Private is something related to the army. That is something related to defense department. And private, P-R-I-V-A-T, the meaning of private is an ordinary soldier. The meaning of private is an ordinary. Sometimes the soldiers meet him and want to clear their doubt. Perhaps they take a plea to meet him, or they whimsically meet him, deliberately meet him, only because they will harass him later on. That moment, they will never telling anything. Rather, after that, the time is over. After the time is over, they will harass him. They will ridicule him. And that is why, most of the times, the soldiers meet him to clear their doubt. And that doubt will create, that doubt will breed many doubts. That single doubt will breed many doubts. In order to heckle him, in order to ridicule him, in order to satirize him, the soldiers meet him. And they all know that the man knows nothing. Only a little bit. Only a little thing. Only a very little thing the man knows. But still they want to meet him in order to harass him. But still he goes on saying, as per his capability, he goes on saying. Even if that ordinary soldier defeats in argument. The ordinary soldier defeats his boss or defeats his boss with his logical argument, with his logical argument, philosophical analysis, logical argument. The ordinary man defeats the boss, defeats his officers. The officers are normally vexed. They are vexed, and they are also they get angry, and sometimes uh, give him different trials, keep him in different trials, test his capability, test his caliber, and only because of that, sometimes the officers, the officers get vexed or get angry. So I will also teach you all these things in the topic. I have taught you, still I am going to teach you the topic again. So you come to the another passage. I remember the first lesson we had in musketry. What is musketry? You see the book. I remember the first lesson we had in musketry. What is musketry? Art of using gun. Musketry is nothing but it is an art. An art of using gun, in which way gun is to be used. Gun is to be used, that is musketry. So the writer wants to say, I remember the first lesson which was taught. We had in musketry, first lesson was taught. We stood in an attentive circle. Perhaps you could have understood this. We stood in an attentive circle. The sergeant man, as dark as the sun dried, as a resins, was describing the mechanism of a service rifle. So you mark. So a man, a sergeant. So in the British Army, there is the post of a sergeant. But in the Indian Army, you cannot find any sergeant. Rather than the sergeant is available, they are in the British Army. And this is the official, or this is the officer, sergeant. The sergeant was talking to the other army men, other soldiers. He was delivering his speech on musketry. He was delivering. That was the first lesson which was imparted. That was the first lesson which was imparted. So dear students, so he was telling about the mechanism. He was telling about the mechanism of a service rifle. The mechanism of a service rifle. And the man was dark. He looked dark. He was dark, sun-dried as raisins. Sun-dried as raisins. The meaning is that he looked like a dried grape. The man looked like a dried grape, Grape, grape. A black man, a dark man, was giving a talk on the musketry. That was the first lesson which was imparted. And their private Welch was also there. Private Welch was also there listening to the talk. What the sergeant was giving. And the sergeant looked dark. He was very dark, black, as ricin, dried as a grape. Dried as a grape. Was described the mechanism of a service rifle. Of a service rifle, functionary, which was functioning. That was being taught. The first lesson was being taught by the sergeant. And the muzzle velocity, the speed, that is the speed. The muzzle velocity or speed at which the bullet leaves the rifle, he told us, is well over 2000 feet per second. 2000 feet. That is the muzzle velocity. What is muzzle velocity? That is about the speed of the gunpowder. Speed of the gunpowder. And what is the speed of the gunpowder? The muzzle velocity or the speed of the gunpowder is 2000 feet per second. 2000 feet per second. A voice interrupted. That means the professor told. Who else told? What did he say? 2,440 feet per second. Only he was telling 2,000 feet per second. But the voice interrupted. Who interrupted? The man was Mr. Quelch. That was a private Quelch. He told 2,440 feet per second. Perhaps he has known the fact. Earlier he has known the fact. He has known. But still, he told it just before others to the sergeant. Perhaps the sergeant was irritated. The sergeant was irritated perhaps. 2,440 feet per second. When he was telling about the muzzle velocity or the speed of the gunpowder, that was 2,000 feet per second. But here, another man told, Private Wells told, 2,440 feet per second. It was the professor. You mark, it was the professor. And 2,440 feet per second. It was the professor. That is right. The sergeant said, without enthusiasm, and we went on lecturing. The sergeant also gives approval to his words. What Mr. Quelch said, what Mr. Quelch or Private Quelch said was correct. And he gave a positive nod. The sergeant gave a positive nod and told what the man said was correct. He was telling about the approximate velocity. The sergeant was telling about the approximate velocity, speed of the gunpowder. But the man, Welch, told exactly the muzzle velocity of the gunpowder, the muzzle velocity. And that is right. The sergeant, without any second thought, without giving any second thought, he gave approval or he approved the words of Mr. Welch or Private Welch. The sergeant said without enthusiasm and went on lecturing without enthusiasm because sometimes perhaps that hurt him. Because a soldier is irritating a sergeant. A sergeant is telling something, whereas the soldier is making counter attack. So when there is an attack, counter attack by the soldier, the sergeant, normally the boss, becomes irritated. So that is found in the military department. So a junior can never irritate a senior member. A junior employee can never irritate a boss. So that is marked in military or defense department. Because they must be disciplined. They are disciplined. They must be. They are disciplined. Their children must be disciplined. So that is why the irritation which is provoked in him, the anger which is provoked in him was suppressed. The irritation, IRRITITATIUM, the irritation which was provoked in him was suppressed. Thank you, students. And this much, I will also send you the second video. Thank you all. Thank you all.